Hi everyone, today what we're going to be doing, this is the final episode of the 2024 primary series here, where we've got Elizabeth Warren, Ocasio-Cortez, Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, and Andrew Cuomo, all vying for the Democratic nomination in 2024. So in terms of our latest update, it's now a one-on-one race between Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and California Senator Kamala Harris. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be going through the last few of these states, starting with the state of Wyoming, then in this order Kentucky, Oregon, Arizona, then the next day we'll go Virgin Island, Puerto Rico, after that it'll be New Mexico, South Dakota, and Montana. The final place is DC, and then we'll be going into the Democratic Convention, including the possibility of superdelegates. And I've actually had to do a bit of research into the procedures because I wasn't exactly sure what happened to the delegates of these people who have dropped out: Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Cuomo, but most importantly Ocasio-Cortez, who's won many of these statewide contests and has quite a few delegates that have been amassed. And she has endorsed Senator Warren, but it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. So starting off in the state of Wyoming, Harris versus Warren. In the state of Wyoming, we expect Warren to do quite well here, something like a 57-42, could even be, more like a 2-1 margin there. But given Wyoming is relatively close to California, and Harris does have a bit of momentum with more delegates, we're going to be giving it 8-6 in favor of Elizabeth Warren. Moving on to the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's the next state we'll be taking a look at. This one I think will be very, very close. At this point, I'm going to give a slight edge over to Senator Harris with a 53-46 margin, something like that, because I think the party is going to become more progressive. At the same time, Harris, with that Biden endorsement, she's going to be doing very well across the South. I think Harris could knock out a win in the state of Kentucky. Moving on to the state of Oregon, this is a state that I think is also going to be quite close, but just given the progressive tilt of the state, we're going to be giving Senator Warren a slight edge over Senator Harris in that particular situation. Moving on to the next state, the state of Arizona. This one also I think is going to be really, really tight here. With the Ocasio-Cortez endorsement, she's been doing very well across this area. If she was still in the race, she'd probably win. But I'm going to just say this one's going to be really close. I think, Hillary Clinton won the state, so I think it's going to be really close. You could see something of a very tight split there, 34-33, something like that. So not really giving either candidate many delegates. Moving on to the state, the territory of the Virgin Islands. This one, I believe, did go to Hillary Clinton, so we'll be giving it 4-3 in favor of Senator Harris. Moving on to the next area, Puerto Rico. This one also, I believe, is a Hillary Clinton situation. I think Harris could definitely do well with that Biden endorsement, something like that, 55-45 split there. Next state, we'll be taking a look at the state of New Mexico. This one I think will be close, but at this point, this is going to be really tight. For New Mexico, I'm going to give a slight edge over to Warren, just because I do think it's probably got a slight progressive tilt, but I mean, there's not much in it either way. It's near Oklahoma, so this area is sort of beginning to become much more interesting. Next, we've got South Dakota and Montana. Let's start off in South Dakota. Clinton actually narrowly won this state, so you'd expect North Dakota and South Dakota to go the same. But it's actually been very close in past presidential contests, so we're actually going to be giving it over to Senator Harris, something like that. Moving on to the state of Montana, 19 delegates. This is a Warren state, Midwest, so we'll be giving this one 57-42 over to Senator Warren. And the final territory, the District of Columbia here, 20 delegates. This is quite an establishment-friendly area, so we're going to give it 2-1 over to Senator Harris, something along those lines. Alright, so let's take a look at this right now, not including super delegates. Let's take a look. In first place, we have Senator Kamala Harris with 1,618. In second place, we have Senator Warren with 1,425. In third place, we have Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with 697. In fourth place, sorry about that. In fourth place, we have Mayor Pete Buttigieg with 139. Fifth place, we have Senator Amy Klobuchar with 94. And sixth place, we have Governor Andrew Cuomo with 6 delegates. There's 6 delegates. Alright, so I've actually needed to do a bit of research myself as to actually what the procedures are, because we thought we would likely have to be going into one of these tight conventions in 2020, but obviously we did not need to do that. So yeah, alright, so right now I've just been doing a bit of research here. So what happens to candidates after they drop out? So here's the baseline thing. Right now, there are 2 types of delegates with the delegates that are pledged delegates. Obviously, super delegates are different, but statewide pledged delegates. These delegates will be reallocated to candidates who are still in the race when the states elect their delegates, a process which typically takes place after the primary and before the convention in July. Candidates who have hit the necessary 15% threshold statewide and whose campaigns are still active will be eligible to pick up these statewide delegates. That means, depending on the state, they'll be given to Biden or Bernie, or split between the two. This is a good example here. Take Utah, for example. Although Bloomberg and Warren both reached the 15% viability threshold in the state, they've since suspended their campaigns. As a result, any delegates they gained are proportionally reallocated to Biden and Sanders, with more going to Sanders because he did better in the state. So that's just an example there. However, here's the thing. The district level pledged delegates, these are different. These delegates would become, quote, free agents at the convention and can vote for whichever candidate they're interested in supporting in the first round at the time. District level delegates that have already been won are not reallocated for the time being and will proceed to the convention. Right? So that's very different. So there are differences, and I tried to find out, we're not going to reallocate all the statewide pledged delegates to all those different candidates, so I'm just trying to find here one of the things that says how many are statewide, how many are district-wide. So it says here, this is just in Iowa, but it's probably about the same for the rest of the states. It says here from 538, in fact, about 2/3 of all pledged delegates nationwide aren't assigned at the state level, which is why our primary forecast also estimates delegates at the district level in most states. These estimates are based on the demographic makeup of each district to its state. So in other words, just like we can forecast a candidate's relative strength in a state versus another, we can also forecast which districts are likely to be relatively strong or weak. However, due to the large amount of uncertainty inherent in this type of probabilistic forecast, these estimates aren't terribly precise. So that's very interesting. So they're saying here 2/3 of the pledged delegates are not assigned at the state level. Now, what does this mean for our primary? What this means is that 2/3 of Ocasio-Cortez's delegates, they are actually free to choose whoever that they want. So if you go through here, 697 delegates times 2/3, so we can just do times 0.667. Okay, so if you actually go through the math here and you do 697, if it's gonna rotate for me, alright, so let's just say 700, right, because that's just easier. If you do 700, 697 over 3, you get 232 and a third delegates. And then if you multiply that by 2, so we get 66% of it, you get 464.6. We'll round that up to 465. Now, what that means is that AOC's delegates, 465 of them, are actually going to now move to Senator Warren. So let's just write that down. 1425 plus 464. And let's just assume, even though Ocasio-Cortez has endorsed Warren, some of those free delegates actually go to Harris. So we'll just round that down to 350, let's say. 1425 plus 350. This is Warren's total support. Right, now if we go and add up all of Buttigieg, Klobuchar and Cuomo's support for Harris's number, 139... sorry, let's just finish Warren first. Sorry, I'm getting a bit confused. 697 over 3 is 232. So that means that Warren gets, hang on, so those 232 delegates, they will be reallocated proportionally to Harris and Warren. So what that means, 1618 plus 1425 is 3043. If you divide that through, that's the total. 3043 divided by the amount that Warren got, 1425. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, it should be the other way round. 1425 over 3043. Okay, so we're saying Warren will get 46% of those 46% of the delegates, right? And then if you do the same for Harris, if you go 1618 over 3043, she's getting around, so if Warren gets 47%, Harris gets 53%. So what that means in practice is those 232 delegates, sorry, that's a mistake, sorry. Those 697 actually now need to be divided. Okay, let's just do this. 139 plus 94 plus 6 gets us to 239. Now, if you add up the 232 from Ocasio-Cortez plus 239 over 3, 239 over 3 is 80 pretty much. So 232 plus 80 gives us 312. Now, 312 needs to be reallocated proportionally in a 53-47 manner in favour of Kamala Harris. So if we do 312 times 53%, that means that Senator Harris gets 165.36 of those delegates. So we'll just say that's 165. And then you have 312 times 47%. That's 146. So 146. Alright, so that means that with the statewide delegates there, you could say if you add Senator Warren's, which is 1425, adding the 464 from Ocasio-Cortez plus the 47%, which is the 146 from earlier, Senator Warren, has a total of 2035 delegates. That's her grand total. Okay, without superdelegates. Now, assuming my math is correct, Senator Harris gets 1618, which is her original pledged delegates. If she adds, on top of that, if she adds 53% of, if she adds 165 to that from the statewide delegates, plus district-wide, I don't think we've done that one yet. How about we can just do, if Warren has 2035 delegates, and the amount of delegates you need, how many delegates do you need to win the whole thing? You need, I'm just checking here real quick. Hang on a second. you need 3979 pledged delegates. 3979. So if you go 3979, take away the 2035 that Warren got, you get 1944 for Kamala Harris, excluding pledged delegates. So if we now go back here, that means the grand total is 2,035 delegates for Elizabeth Warren and 1,944 for Senator Harris. Now you need 1991 to get the nomination on the first ballot, which means that Elizabeth Warren with 1425 delegates, with 2,035 delegates, including now we've just reallocated all of that in a quite complicated mathematical way. She has won with 2,035 delegates to Kamala Harris's 1,944 delegates. So that was quite difficult to go through, but hopefully I've taught you all a little bit about delegate math. So the final standings: Warren wins with 2,035. I believe we can actually change, can we? Maybe we can't, but I thought we could actually change. I'm just trying to figure this out. No, I don't think you can. Sorry about that. But, yes, there you go. So you can set actually the amount of delegates. So if we go over to super delegates, we can set it at 0. Alright, so there you go. I guess that's it. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Warren wins with 2,035 delegates. Harris loses with 1944 delegates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Good night.